and others to make sure that we have the safest country on the planet. You can help make that happen, Bahamians. Some of you have information, you don't know what to do with it. Some of you see things, have knowledge that certain things are going on, and you don't do anything to prevent it from happening. Some of you say it's none of my business. It is all of our business when you see people in trouble. Because you don't know what time it may happen for you at any point in time. Because some strange things do happen. And you have to be ready and prepared to assist and help. And you would want assistance and help. There are those who've been crying out for a long time now about different issues. Don't wait until it comes to your doorstep before you realize that there's a problem. We have to do better than that. We have to learn to look out for our neighbors, look out for our friends and associates, even sometimes they don't look out for us, but that's understandable. There is a lot of pressure on people. I've never seen it so difficult in our country as of today. Today is the 14th. I believe today is the 14th. And Bahamians, people are under enormous pressure. They don't have enough money to pay their bills. They can't pay their rent. They want to buy food. Some things you can't even buy anymore because it's so costly, so expensive. The cost of living is extremely high. Even the leader of the country recognized that. But the question always comes of what are we prepared to do? With all this crime you see happening, all these murders, we had another one just last night, and it's very despicable. The way human beings are treating other human beings. Leave a man lying in the street, and he dies in the street with all kinds of bullet wounds in him. It means that that kind of criminal activity is too prevalent in our country today. And we don't seem to be sensitized to anything. There's no outrage, no alarm, even in the communities where it happens. We just simply sit back and say, let some other fellows deal with it. But Bahamians, you have to become involved on what is happening on the ground in your local community where you live. Because we're going to be calling upon you. I will personally be calling upon you to help my team who are working with me and some others. Because we have to save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Bahamians. I heard someone talking today about issues that affect the country. And people will have their ideas and their opinions, their suggestions, no problem with that. There are some of us who know better, but refuse to help a weaker brother or sister who may not fully understand. Because of the tremendous amount of misinformation, believe you me, Bahamians, there is tremendous misinformation being spilled out on radio, television, and the newspapers, chat. They also, in conversations, you listen to the music. I just happen to hear it sometimes, the kind of crappy music that adult males and females play. You could hardly understand the language that the particular artist may be speaking at any given time. But the music is not uplifting, it's not inspiring. It's not helping them to be better citizens in your country. The music doesn't glorify God. God is not even mentioned in their knowledge. But yet we have people who listen to this crap every living day. In fact, in my area where I am, you have competing forces playing music and They're just a few feet away from each other. So you got two, three, or four different entities playing music loudly. And so just you hear all of that jungle music and you can't even understand what's going on. And they're playing it loudly, I guess trying to attract people. I think we're going to have to change the ordinances relating to music distribution in our country. Because I know in my area, it goes on 7 days a week. We cannot get privacy on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, as we used to have. This crappy music is played every living day, the same crap over and over and over again. People feeding this foolishness and nonsense into their minds. And then you ask yourself, well, why people behave the way they do? Because they're listening to a lot of foolishness and nonsense. Certainly no Bahamian music, I can tell you that. If they were playing Bahamian music, it would be nice. By Bahamian artists. But no, some strange foreign artists, and they are just taking it in Bahamians. It can change the culture of the country. People who come here, who want to live here, ought to be Bahamianized. But they bring their culture and they set up shop in the Bahamas and want you to become a part of them rather than becoming a part of us. Bahamians, this is a very serious issue. We have it with the Jamaicans, we got it with the Haitians, we got it with the Chinese, we got it with the Americans. How much more of this foolishness are we going to take? There was a time when the government of the Bahamas stressed Bahamianization. That was in the early 70s. And they wanted Bahamians to be in charge. They were in charge of the hotels. They were running things. All them Cable Beach hotels. Managed by qualified Bahamian citizens. We were top of the line when it came to tourism management. Now, where are we today? Things have changed, Bahamians. We have let our guard down. We're not as aggressive as we ought to be. We have gotten so lax now that anything bucks up goes. You can't have a nation like that, Bahamians. What about the thousands and tens of thousands of young people who want a future in this country? They don't have anywhere to go. We have lost too many of our young men. That is a very serious issue. And Bahamians, I want to dwell on that a little bit today and ask you to call in. Why is it that we're losing our young men? One just got killed last night and left in the road to die, and the person speed off. See how they behave? They do a lot of damage, kill people, and then run and hide. They don't want to face the music of their wickedness. Bahamians, we cannot sit back and allow our sons to keep dying like this. Now, they have some issues, yes, they have some problems, but we have to help them to settle their differences in a better way than what they're doing now. Because at some point in time, here was a fella sitting right in his house, doing his own way. And there was a shootout in the area, and the bullet went straight in his head. He in the house. Went through the wall of the house. Straight to his head. And he died, Bahamians. That happened several years ago. That was a promising youngster who we have lost. How many more have we lost? Now we got this problem with suicide. Where we going with this, Bahamians? We seem to have more problems, social problems, now more than ever before. Murders, suicides, rapes. I mean, come on, Bahamians. Personalities. and I got to be careful how I say this, personalities who are said to be officers on the Royal Bahamas Police Force. They seem to know how to behave. Having relationships with the young women who are in their custody. Bahamians, that is a very serious issue because then you're going to find that people are not going to be trusting police officers. There was a time when police officers were highly respected, just like teachers, highly respected. Of course, we got some problems with some of these personalities who are teachers. We have high molestation of children in this country. We want to keep it one deep secret. Unfortunately, we have family members. In one instance, we know of a grandfather molesting his granddaughter. What kind of crap is this, Bahamians? You see, when we don't watch these things, the devil brings on more trouble for us. So we have a proliferation of wickedness and evil in the land. And I don't see us as a nation, and someone could correct me if I'm in error. I don't see us as a nation moving swiftly enough to deal with the many social issues that afflict the Bahamian people. Major social issues, and one is murder. Proliferation of murder among our young males. Now, that should be top priority for us Bahamians. We have to help the authorities, yes. The Prime Minister, he announced his plan to fight crime. The Commissioner had something to say about it. The Minister for National Security said something about it. Bahamians, this is a very serious issue. It keeps going on and on and on. Then we got the infusion of strangers, foreigners, aliens, outsiders. We don't even know who's in the country. We have a proliferation of people in this country. We don't even know who is in it. And we have to fix that, Bahamians. That's an immigration problem. Then you got a whole army of people say they're clamoring for citizenship. And I understand some papers are being handed out left, right, center for personalities who want to be citizens of the country. Citizenship is a serious thing, Bahamians. Which means you having these people, legally or illegally, being added to the register. We have to put a stop to this foolishness. You only could take so much and no more. You got to put a moratorium on citizenship, moratorium on immigration. Because we have too many in here who we cannot even account for. The police force, and sometimes I feel sorry for them, the tremendous amount of cases they have to investigate. Now, how many police officers we have on these cases? It is clearly evident some are going to get left out in the cold. No doubt about that. While the police will not say they don't have too much on their plate. They say they're there for law enforcement. When I can get my protection, I want protection too. I am a tax-paying citizen. You are a tax-paying citizen. But a lot of their efforts are being made to deal with all this criminal activity. They ain't got time to protect me. So what are I supposed to do? When I call Central Police Station, I can't get no help from them. Something happens in the middle of the night, we call Central. I got to call 919. And Central Police is right outside our door. Police headquarters right outside our door. And just like the two of them where we live, they don't exist. They're not paying any attention. to people who live right outside the gate. But they could find themselves in Lightfoot Key, they could find themselves in Old Fort Bay, they could find themselves in Blair. Even all the way down in Grand Bahama. All they got to do is walk straight out of police headquarters and bing, they're right there. They've never done that in 51 years. Do you know that, Amos? I watched this, I watched this for 51 years and it ain't happened yet. Commissioner after commissioner after commissioner. They never come east. Directly east. They ain't got to drive no car. All they got to do is walk across the road and they're there. And they've never done it in 51 years. That's why I'm bringing it to attention to Bahamian people. Not that we are anxious for them to come, but if you could go other places, why the hell you can't come here? We're citizens too. We are taxpayers too, Bahamians. We have some issues in that area that need to be resolved. In fact, I remember the young men telling me how they were being harassed by the police. I got very upset about that. People who live there in that small community. And they wouldn't even take some time to say, let me go and talk to these people over here and get some views from them. They have all kinds of events at police headquarters. Never an invitation in 51 years. But they could find people from other places. There was an event that occurred in that area. The Prime Minister was coming up there, and I see all these people with their band and their musical instrument. And I said, well, what the heck going on in here? But the people who live there don't know, Bahamians. This is the way they operate, and it is wrong. It is not right. Everybody else knows the Prime Minister coming to accept us. Any crap like that? Even the representative didn't even tell the people. But someone came and informed me, and I was on my way to the show. And they showed me the plaque the Prime Minister put up. There's nothing wrong with him coming, But you got to show respect, Bahamians. You think they could go in Lightfoot Key and set up shop without informing the people in Lightfoot Key? When the government of Bahamas wanted to do something, those fellas wrote something on one piece of paper, and that was the end of that. Do we have partiality treatment for certain people, and then other people just get kicked to the curb? Is that the way we operate in this country? The police are responsible for protecting the interests of the Bahamian citizens, not special interest groups. We ain't getting no protection. Because Central Police Station is never available to the residents. Never. Never got nothing. And there's stones throw away. But Bahamians, that's the way it is happening. Been going on for too long now. I can speak to it more often, Because people forget. Bahamians, you can't forget. Well, I ain't gonna forget. But there's something you could do about it. See, that's the beauty of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. There is always something you can do about all of these wicked things that are happening in our country. When your leaders go sour, there's something you do about it. When the police do things that are wrong, and they never admit to doing anything wrong, they ain't perfect, but they never once told the public we were wrong in a particular issue that they were involved in. They simply say we can take this fellow before the courts. And even you have problems with the court. Are we able to get justice? Are we able to get fair play? Are we able to get integrity? Are we able to get, they like to use this word, transparency. Do they know what that means? They think it's supposed to be transparent. We have the government of the Bahamas involved in matters with Haiti. Never had any discussion with the Bahamian people, but taking our police, not the police, the defense force fellas, so they can send them to Haiti. No input from the Bahamian people to say what you all think about that. Must be Prime Minister of Haiti instead of being Prime Minister of the Bahamas. See, these are the kind of things that you see happening every living day of your life, Bahamians, where the government of the Bahamas is making serious decisions which affect the lives of the Bahamian people. And we're right here sitting down doing nothing about it. Now, I hear the man say, well, that other fella, not the Prime Minister, that other fella say they could come in. I would tell him, come home right now. And let that one who put the voice note out there, let him go and deal with it. But Bahamians, you want your son to come home in the pine box? Or your nephew, or your father, or your boyfriend? Come on, Bahamians, how we get mixed up like this? We got to get this thing straight, and it will be straightened out, Bahamians. You hear that from Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson, because something is in the works to deal with all of this crap that is going on in this country. I have my special guest. He's waiting right here now. I tell him I could talk till the man come back. You got to stop me. But this break has stopped me. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. As soon as the break is over, I'm going to introduce my special guest. He is a faithful fella. He comes out every Thursday. We thank God for him. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. Don't tell me we ain't got no freedom of speech in this country. That's nonsense and foolishness. We do have it. We have to know how to use it. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Fall is here, and so are the incredible advertising deals at Global 99.5 FM. Whether you're launching a new product, promoting holiday sales, or just want to get your brand out there, we've got you covered with unbeatable rates this season. Reach thousands of potential customers and boost your business before the holidays hit. Call 326-0271 or just email sales@globalradio995fm.com to learn more about our fall advertising promotions. Global 99.5 FM, reaching customers wherever they are for your success.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island, a November to remember sale, starting at $150 per night, plus taxes and fees. For single or double occupancy, receive a fourth night free. With 3 paid nights, limited inventory available, and blackout date supply. Advance booking is required. We're offering free food and beverage credit up to $50 based on your length of stay. Redeemable at our Crusoe's restaurant and splash pool bar. VAT and gratuity is not included. All guests of Comfort Suites enjoy complimentary use of Atlantis, including Aquaventure Water Park, daily complimentary full American buffet breakfast, free Wi-Fi, free parking, kids 11 and under stay free in the room with a parent, and eat free at Crusoe's restaurant with each paying adult. Call us today at 605-6300 or 363-3680 or WhatsApp us at 55-SUITE. That's 557-8483. Offer valid through November 18th, 2024. Comfort Suites Paradise Island, offering comforting days and sweet nights.
Hey there, are you ready for the holidays? Well, Wyndham at Day Spa is turning it up to start the season with a fantastic Black Friday sale. They're giving a whopping 20% off all full-price gift card sales, and they are offering delivery at Wyndham at Day Spa. You can experience true head-to-toe pampering. You deserve it. Nail and hair care services, soothing facials, exhilarating massages, body wraps and scrubs. Your body is saying, let's do it. This Black Friday, call Windermere Day Spa and purchase your full price gift cards at a whopping 20% off. And remember, they deliver 2 locations, Cave Village, 321-613-506, or Harbor Bay at 393-8788 or 393-0033.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
Great vehicle performance begins with an exceptional oil. Choosing the right motor oil for your Honda may seem confusing, so here's one simple rule to follow. Look for the oil with the Honda name. Using Honda Genuine Ultimate Full Synthetic Motor Oil in your Honda will enhance your car's performance because it is formulated and tested to meet exacting Honda specifications. Available now at Nassau Motor Company on Shirley Street.
If you've got termites and need to get rid of them fast, trust Rent-A-Kill Initial. We have over 60 years of experience in the Bahamas. As a part of a global brand, our training and expertise can't be beat. Only Rent-A-Kill Initial gives you a 3-year warranty on termite fumigation with the best payment terms in the Bahamas. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name you can call on, Rent-A-Kill Initial. Call us at 322-2157.
From South Beach to Bay Street,
I'm pleased, I really dig your company.
it's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Yeah, let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. My special guest is here. He's been waiting patiently because I told him I could talk till the man come back. They got to stop me. Say, Professor, you got to stop now. That's why they have these breaks, because I could go until the man come back. But the point is, Bahamians, we are delighted to have Brother Cartwright here. He brings a lot of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to the Bahamian people every Thursday. We are delighted to have him. Brother Cartwright, welcome to this show.
Good afternoon, Professor. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Producer and the Global 99.5 FM audience. Locally and internationally. Like I was saying to you earlier off air a little while ago, it's amazing how when political parties, whether it's local or international, when they lose these general elections, their reflection always point to blaming the voters and why they voted one way.
Yes.
As we discussed over the 50 plus years in our system here, we've never heard any of the parties or administration when they lost say, well, this is the reason why we lost. It's like they seem to believe that the electors don't understand why they voted the way they voted.
That is wrong.
And one of the things that I always say to people is that when you hear the administration at the opening of the new parliament, and you listen to the speech from the throne says that the Governor General said, my government is pledged to do this over the next 5 years for the growth and development of our people. And then when the people start to bring questions, why has this not happened? And you hear the excuses they give, and it's like, that's not a valid excuse.
No, it isn't.
For instance, right now, the president-elect of the United States and his VP are saying their major issues for them and the American people is one, the economy and immigration.
Yes.
And they are taking a stance with immigration where they say they're going to be very rigid with it.
Yes.
And I heard where someone, the media asked the prime minister his opinion. And to me, it was very, very appalling because he said, well, sounds like the people famous. And I was like, how do you know?
Yes.
What system we have in place to make sure that those people that if they repatriated to the Bahamas, that they are Bahamian citizens? What is the government plan now to prepare themselves? Because the elected president will not be in office until after January 20th. So you have time to put in a policy or a plan in place
Right.
to say, okay, let us identify. And if they said, well, this person, because we all know the U.S. policy is that they deport back to the port of entry.
Yes.
So if you leave the Bahamas to come to the U.S., that's where they're sending you back. You don't have to, fast they're concerned, it isn't our concern whether he's a Mexican, Chinese. We know you come from the Bahamas, that's where we're sending you. Now it's up to the Bahamian government to sort that matter out. And I think for too long, we've been nonchalant.
Yes, we have.
Because if you notice that a lot of people, since when they come back, who are repatriated to the Bahamas, and you start to ask questions, you can sense and you can see they have no affinity to the Bahamas.
No, they don't.
So now we are stuck with people moving around in a country with no status, and you now have the burden for the taxpayers to pay foot the bill for them. It's like I was smiling and I was talking with someone earlier, and I said, "You realize that we house people in facilities like for those who in social service where they have a minimum of 30 days for housing.
Yes.
And then when you look at those persons who where the government knocking down these shanty towns, and the first thing question comes to mind, where are these people going?
Yes.
Who's footing the bill? Are these people legal? Do they have a right to be here? All of these questions you don't hear, no one talks about.
No.
And if you start to ask questions, some people look at you, well, you're xenophobic. No. We already had a ruling from the Supreme Court where the Chief Justice said to the administration, you have a tool in your box to deal with people building shanty towns.
Exactly.
The law states that, hey, only Ministry of Works give you permission to build. You must have a building permit. And if you don't have a building permit and that house, you're putting up a housing or a structure, it has to come down.
Yes.
And when you put these notices to these people, it says, hey, you have to now identify, do they speak English? If they don't speak English, then put it in the language that they speak. And that document that you put on their property or that structure, that is government property stating to them, listen, you have no right, you're in violation. And if you find them, you take them to the court, you make sure that they process, and once they're processed by the court, then if the court finds them without sending them to prison, you hold them in the detention center because they already did their time and they're here illegally, then you process them to go back to their country of origin.
Yes.
We have been taking our immigration policies and being lackadaisical with it. We've been taking our citizenship policies, we've been lackadaisical with it. We've had numerous administrations. We've had one administration tell people, if you've been living on a permanent residence for so many years, you can become a citizen. That's not in the Constitution.
No, it isn't.
You have persons who are now becoming citizens, and if you look in the documents of the business section of the newspapers, you see people over the age of 18
Yes.
applying for citizenship. And I was like, do these members of parliament understand that the Nationality Act, it is not an act.
No, it never was.
It was a law that was passed and fell away the day that the new constitution came into play.
That's correct.
And I'm looking at the members of parliament like, do you guys really read or research before you pass laws or create policies? Because it is clear, the Constitution tells you all policies must line up with the Constitution.
How is it that the Attorney General from 1973, every administration, we've had several Attorney Generals, I don't know exactly how many, but we've had quite a few. How is it that they missed that? Who was supposed to give advice to the government of the Bahamas, and even the one who is there now, this is the second time there, has been giving misinformation to the government, advice that is not constitutionally sound. How is that we could have a person like that in office giving very bad advice to the Bahamian people and to the government of the Bahamas, which is not constitutionally sound, and no one has done anything about it? For 51 years, we have had Attorney General, one right after the other, Even the best among them missed it. And yet no one speaks to that. But I'll speak to it because I got the evidence to prove it. You mean to tell me all these legally trained personalities who ought to know law, notice what I said, they ought to know. But even if they know and not carrying out their responsibility, you got a minister of immigration who's supposed to be a constitutional lawyer. What the heck is he doing? You could have all the brains under the sun, but you're not using your constitutional authority as the minister for immigration and citizenship. So what good is that? That's no good to nobody. I don't care. Hold on, Brother Cartwright. I don't care how brilliant a particular personality will be or may propose to be. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in whether you are acting in accordance with the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And the governor of the Bahamas is not doing it. The immigration minister is not doing it. The attorney general is not doing it. And here we are sitting like a bunch of dodos and allowing this crap to go on day after day after day, year after year. And well, a couple of people are doing something about it. I must say that. We're glad for those souls. But Bahamians, we can't allow this foolishness to keep going on. The government of the Bahamas is dead wrong. And they are violating the Constitution, your supreme law. That is serious business, Bahamians. Go ahead, Brother Cartwright.
You know, Professor, what I've noticed, I might be wrong. I would hope I would be wrong, but I know I'm not wrong. The position of the Attorney General, like many other members of the cabinet and parliament, is that many of these personalities do not understand the difference between party affiliate and parliamentary affiliate.
That's correct.
Now, the Attorney General was appointed to his position because he didn't want a seat. And so in that position, he was supposed to know the Constitution.
Yes, he ought to.
And he's supposed to give an honest and independent reply to the administration.
He is the only one that has independent authority in that cabinet.
Yes.
Apart from all them other fellows who they appoint. He is the one. He may have to lock up the prime minister. He may have to lock up the minister of immigration. He may have to lock up all of them. Tell please go and get them and throw them in the cell.
He has that power.
He has. He does. Yes, he does. He can say right now, go and get Professor Sidney McGrath, Walter Thompson. I can't tell him no. People don't understand how this thing goes, you know. He has that authority to do it. Now I got to answer him because it's constitutionally sound. Well, I would hope he doesn't do it, willy-nilly.
I hope not.
But I hope not. But he has that authority and people don't understand that. How could we be so dense, not realizing the power that these particular people have? The Attorney General has enormous powers. But that other fella is like a gigantic octopus that spreads its tentacles into every single facet of your life, right into your bedroom. And I said that on air the other day when caller got upset about that. But it's constitutionally sound, Bahamians. That's why I said it like that. Now, I'm not saying they should abuse their authority. That's a whole horse of a different color.
Yes.
But it goes very deep, Bahamians. The office of Attorney General and the office of Prime Minister. Very, very deep. Go ahead, Brother Cartwright.
I think, Professor, what happens to us in the Bahamas is that for years, over the period of years, we had colorful political leaders who were, you can say, eloquent with words. And the masses bought into the speeches and they took a liking to their persona, their personality.
Yes.
But they never took time out to say, does this person, those individuals, following the Constitution of the Bahamas?
That's right.
And 51 plus years later, we are now catching up and see whereby that there were many things that they've done in the past and present is not constitutionally sound.
That's correct.
And the most damning effect is that the members of the parliament and the members of the Senate do not appear to be brave enough to bring changes by tabling a bill to say, listen, we are going contrary.
Yes.
This act you just passed, we cannot make that law because it doesn't line up with the Constitution.
Exactly.
And it's amazing because I've heard the President, Prime Minister, I've heard the leader of the opposition, they're making assertions that while in opposition, they have no power. I've heard people say to me, well, you know, an independent candidate can't make a difference. I said, any member of parliament can make a difference.
Yes, they can.
As long as he follows the guidelines of the Constitution and he makes sound bill presentation.
Yes.
You cannot go to parliament and make a bill say, well, you know what? I won't have a dinghy, you can just row across the parliament. No, it don't work that way. It has to be sound and it has to be constitutional. So, like, for instance, we were talking about the National Investment Fund.
Yes.
And the guy said to me, man, tear it down. I said, why? Why you want to tear it down? I said, before you tear it down, get a copy of that act, go through it thoroughly, and things in the act that you feel that is not lined up, you can basically, as a member of parliament or the Senate, table a bill to repeal certain sections.
Yes, they can.
And then you can then add things to it. I
Yes.
said, that's the whole idea with amendments.
Yes.
I said, this is where we now realize that many of our politicians and many of our senators
Yeah.
do not know their roles.
No, they don't.
And it's scary.
It's more than scary. But Cartwright, we have to continue this conversation. We have a caller on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good afternoon, Professor.
Yes, sir.
And good afternoon to your guests and good afternoon, Bahamas. But Professor, this is a good time to jump right in, but
Yes,
where you
sir.
are talking this these constitution thing. I'm
Yes.
gonna start off with I'll start on the order of Article what it is, the 24.1. Listen here,
24.1.
I watching the UK and watching the way the Queen them is, I watching them, I watching the Parliament.
Yes.
And man, I always say this to people. I never say it on the radio. I always say to people, they have a little section just to protect the Queen. You can't make no kind of order. Like you see how our thing is with the speaker is, and the second speaker down there, they got one just like that, and that's one for the Queen. You don't make no kind of law with this, that's just protect all the Queen rights. Like I say, I'm saying this all the time. What about our Constitution? I know in the days gone by, but I first I'm gonna say this. This is how people get in the country, and this move the landmark. This Proverbs chapter 22 and 29. They
Okay.
moved the landmark, and today, I say it again, like I say it over, and it sounds like it's Scorch record. We used to have like serious judge them,
Yes.
serious, the best kind of judge to be inside the Senate. Now we have people in the Senate, they running over all kind of crazy things. They run over all kind of foolishness without not Constitution. But I can end with this one. I see that way you can't make no law as the Queen rights protected. I say very speaker, where the speaker is, put something right there because the Senate they ain't serious no more. Someone moved the landmark. There used to be
Okay.
lawyers used to be in there. I
Yes.
can't understand what happened. How you can legalize, sit down in there, dress up in coat suit. I read the book, the 35th law of thing. Don't insult your leaders. But how you can
Yes.
sit there in coat suit and legalize drugs on a Christian nation? How you can do that? I go on. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, caller, for your contribution. He has some points that he wanted to get across. Brother Cartwright, go ahead.
It's amazing that the caller brought up the UK.
Yes.
In the Bahamas, we are a former British colony. We practice constitutional monarchy in our system. But if you watch the way our parliament and our administrations past and present operates, they operate like they're a republic.
That's correct.
They basically take part of the Westminster system and then they adopt the American style of a republic governance. And I was like,
Yes.
maybe going with this. This is not part of us.
No, it's not.
And we've noticed that under the Westminster system, when a leader of a political machinery has lost an election, he does the honorable thing.
He resigns.
He steps down.
Steps down. Yes.
All those around him who were in the hierarchy, in leadership, they all fall away.
They fall away, yes, they do.
But in this system, what we practice like the Americans is that no matter what happens, you can, it's like, well, that didn't happen.
Yes, it didn't happen.
It didn't
That's
happen,
right.
so you get another shot at the title.
Yes, that's
And that's
right.
like, if we're going to practice the system that we have,
Yes,
that we've adopted, practice it fully.
that's right.
Be honorable about it. You know, when you see members of the parliament, and this is why I just get upset, because when you ask them simple questions, is this constitutional sound? Then they give you this long drive going all the way up to Life and Key, going to Foxhill, and then when they come back to you on Bay Street, they say, well, I agree with you, but
But
there's
what?
no but.
You know, but
I also say to them, what does it say? You know, like I said, I had a chat with a senior member of the parliament, and I draw an illustration over citizenship. And I said to him, I said, sir, if me and my girlfriend go to Haiti and we have a child born in Haiti, what is the citizenship of the child? And the gentleman said to me, the child is Haitian.
okay.
I said, let me say this again so you can catch what I'm saying. I said, if me and my girlfriend, both of us are Bahamians,
Right.
none of us are Haitian, have a child in Haiti, what is the citizenship of that child? And the man looked at me and told me the child is Haitian. I said, well, be the parents, and we don't have a say who our child is.
No,
He
you
said,
don't.
no, the child is Haitian.
Oh, okay.
So I said, sir, you sure of that? Yeah. So you telling me that the Commerce Constitution doesn't override the so-called nationality bill, because
Yes.
that's the only thing you could use to give citizenship, because there's nothing else, because there has been no referendum
No
or no
referendum.
articles in the citizenship.
None whatsoever.
So you are basically operating outside of the Constitution.
Yes, they are.
He said, well, it was passed. I said, yeah, I agree with you, it was passed, but then it falls away. You keep saying, I said, I'm not disputing it. It was passed, because we see where it says it came on 4 days before independence. And it says that once the Bahamas went independent, they told you July 10, this independence ought to become your new constitution.
That's right.
Everything has to, and that independence is your supreme law.
That's
so
right.
what are you telling me? He said, man, we got to talk some more.
See, that's the problem with these particular personalities. I know from my spiritual leader, Dr. Herbert W. Armstrong, when I was converted, he used to say the hardest thing for human beings to do is to admit error and change. And since my conversion almost 54 years ago, January 11th of next year, 54 years, I have come to see that that statement is 100% true. Human beings do not like to admit when they are wrong. Do you ever hear the police force admit doing anything wrong in this country? Do you ever hear the government of the Bahamas admit to doing anything wrong in this country? Did you ever hear any minister in that government say, yes, I am wrong, I need to correct it? Never once. And we know they're not perfect, but yet they act and behave like they are. So what the heck are we supposed to do with that? Are we supposed to keep allowing people to keep misleading and deceiving us? When people do not admit that they are wrong, they become very dangerous, extremely dangerous. And that is why we're having so many problems in our country today. You see the multiplicity of problems, social problems that are crowding in on our people. And people are so mesmerized in all of this foolishness and all of this nonsense. And all these people say, I even hear one ad on the paper, and not on the paper, but on the radio, giving out false information and saying they wanted the government of Bahamas to listen to CEDAW instead of listening to Bahamian people. Do we have a caller, Mr. Producer? Oh, okay. I thought I was getting the signal. But no, but the thing is, Bahamians, our Constitution is supreme, not CEDAW, not what some people say in one international organization, what they call international. They're national right where they are. And yet, we don't even check to see what the supreme law says, because it says any other law that is inconsistent with this Constitution shall prevail. That's what this current government needs to understand, you know. They don't understand that. Perhaps they don't know it. The Attorney General ought to tell them that. Article 2 of your Constitution, this Constitution shall prevail. Because he's trying to use statute law, say he won't change the Constitution. Any crap like that. That's what the man say.
It's amazing, Professor.
But that's what the man say. We ain't lying on him.
No.
But this is the kind of foolishness we as Bahamians sit back and allow the Attorney General to talk foolishness and allow the government to continue to violate this supreme law. That will be stopped, because it cannot go on, which causing all kind of confusion and strife and chaos in this land. All kind of strangers, foreigners, aliens, and outsiders giving advice to the government. But the government is not listening to the people. They're tuned deaf as to what the people say. But we can have our say. No ifs, no ands, no buts. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson. The lines are open, Bahamian. I want you to call in. 326-0271. We got Brother Cartwright right here. 326-0272. 813-0271. Of course, we got cable bombers 974. We got global radio, global Facebook, and we also got global YouTube. And some other ones I can't quite remember to write offhand. But Bahamians, we need to get serious. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Fall is here, and so are the incredible advertising deals at Global 99.5 FM. Whether you're launching a new product, promoting holiday sales, or just want to get your brand out there, we've got you covered with unbeatable rates this season. Reach thousands of potential customers and boost your business before the holidays hit. Call 326-0271 or just email sales@globalradio995fm.com to learn more about our fall advertising promotions. Global 99.5 FM, reaching customers wherever they are for your success.
This Thanksgiving, treat yourself to a delicious feast at the Cricket Club. Enjoy our holiday lunch special featuring glazed ham, roasted turkey, seafood stuffing, and a variety of classic sides like peas and rice, crab and rice, coleslaw, mac and cheese, and more. Top it off with your choice of dessert, carrot, chocolate, or cheesecake, all for just $28. Or indulge in our seafood platter with steak and shrimp, mahi-mahi and shrimp, served with your favorite sides and dessert for only $31. Join us at the Cricket Club, located Haynes Oval, West Bay Street. Call 326-4720 to reserve your spot today.
As we celebrate the season of Thanksgiving, Variety Disposable Products would like to wish you and yours a very blessed Thanksgiving season. Throughout the month of November, Variety Disposable will donate to Hands for Hunger and invite you to do the same. Variety is stocked with all of your essentials, such as food and cake trays, stuffing, seasonings, foil pans, and oval pans for your ham and turkey. Visit Variety Disposable Products located on Faith Avenue and Soldier Road, or call us at 341-9010 or 325-7071.
Whether you're shopping for Mother's Day, Father's Day, back to school, or any occasion for that matter, you are sure to find exactly what you're looking for at the Brass and Leather Shops. Great products like handbags, wallets, backpacks, luggage, belts, shoes, and more are awaiting you. Brand names at the best quality and reasonable prices. Land, Rioni, Kipling, Guess, Travel Light, Herschel, and more. Shop any of our locations. Downtown Charlotte Street, Mall at Marathon, and also the Luggage Store at Palmdale. Be sure to shop Brass and Leather Shops. You'll be glad you did.
Nassau Motor Company knows that finding the right part for your car is important. That's why you can count on us to give you a quality AC Delco part, like maintenance-free batteries for quicker starts and pressure-tested water pumps for years of smooth operation. AC Delco parts are made to strict GM specifications and fit most cars and trucks in the Bahamas. Nassau Motor Company, AC Delco, and you, a winning combination.
Why does Bahamian shoppers know when times are hard and things are tough? It's more sensible and convenient to shop at YK's Fashion Center. YK's has slashed prices on brand name clothing and shoes by up to 50%, including academics, Clark, polo, and hundreds of jeans and dicky pants, and as much as 70% on selected items. Choose from a large selection of beds, sheets, rugs, and towels, all at affordable prices. YK's has 3 locations to serve you: Bahama Avenue, Prince Charles, and East Street South near the Sir Charles Hotel. YK's, where you can afford to look good.
From Cable Beats to Montague, it's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Here, let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and Global Radio 99.5FM.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. Express yourself. Bahamians, it's time to express yourself. And also there is something you can do about what you express. We're not helpless Bahamians. We have something to work with. You have your Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to work with. That's the supreme law. And if the government of the Bahamas isn't going by the Constitution, and they are not, they can do something about it. They got to put up with their crap. We don't have to put up with the crap of any minister or any MP. Who say we have to? We have constitutional authority, Bahamians, and we need to take it seriously. And I'm going to ask my producer, when he finished this call, to play that clip that he asked, that I listened to, and Brother Cartwright, I'm going to let you comment on it. Because we have to save our young men. They're dying. We're losing them. They're not even getting as young as I am. How to get like this? We have a call on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Professor.
Hey, what's happening?
Radio.
How come we're losing all our young men?
Some of these young men put themselves in these positions.
You think so?
I watched something the other morning.
Uh-huh.
And for no reason, he picked on this fellow. And he was in the wrong.
Okay.
So it's the whole scenario. We have to look at these things. And there are sometimes the Bible tells you whatever man sow, you're going to reap.
Yes.
There are people who doing older people, cuss at older people,
yes.
cuss the mother out, cuss this one,
yes.
cuss the next one, and they believe that they can keep on going and going and going.
Okay.
So sometimes judgment be following people.
Okay.
See, so we don't really know what's going on, and because of this, nobody could fix it.
Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you this. Now, how is it we don't know what's going on?
Think about it.
How is it that we don't know what's going on, and no one can fix it? How did you come to that conclusion?
How is it that could fix it?
No, hold on. Let me rephrase. How is it that we do not know what is going on? That's the first point. The second point is you said no one can fix it. How did you come to that conclusion?
When I say we don't know, because sometimes young fellas or women or men, they do things to people, and we may not know.
That may be. That may be so. Yes.
And then they will, the people or the individual, they forget, but in the right timing, they feel like, well, I can get this person back now. Or this person might molest my sister, and now he come out of jail. And now these fellas, I'm taking offense because, you see, so when we hear the news, we don't really know what's going on, but somebody who may be close, they may have an idea or reason why this happened and stuff like that.
The police force has an avalanche of statistics, more than 51 years plus. They've been around from 18-something. You mean to tell me they don't have an understanding of what has been going on in this country all those years? From the time the police force came into existence, all they got is statistical information. They got it better than any other entity in this country.
Yeah.
So they need to share this in detail with the Bahamian people so the Bahamian people could understand clearly why we are in the condition we're in, because we got to fix this thing.
Hey, Professor.
Yeah.
Three quick point or two.
Okay, go ahead.
You all keep saying the Christian nation.
You mean the Bahamas ain't no Christian nation, caller? Are you telling me that? You say the Bahamas ain't no Christian nation?
IBM say we are the fourth nation in corruption.
Wait a minute now. Hold on. Who said that? Who said that?
That's IBM.
Where did they get that statistics from?
I don't know. Even business people here say you.
I heard them say 75% of our business people are involved in corruptible activities.
The business people just say every time they go to government office and government place to speed up their process, you got to pay for this.
Where did that information come
table.
from? No, but hold on, caller. Take it slow. You got to make me to understand, Where did it come from? Who said that?
You mean, I said, well, all the business people, and I don't know if you know this fella named Albury.
Albury, yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Lightboy might know him. He's come on. So, and my other point is, we talking about deport back to people from America. You got some people who gone smuggling. They ain't get no visa and nothing like that. They maybe come direct from Haiti, stop in the Nassau, and go smuggling. So
that's true. That's
how
happening.
America
You know
just
that.
send them back here?
That is why.
Because they say, "Oh, I'm from the Bahamas." The government here supposedly liaison with the American government.
Yes.
To make sure that, listen here, you all sending these people here, you all got to have these people named that we can look at our system to see if we have these people named here. It's just like you trying to get rid of your trash.
Right.
And
And
you
dump
take
it
your
in somebody
trash,
else's
put
yard.
it on the truck. And then you take it to try to throw it in somebody else's yard. And the people say, no. Don't bring that here because they ain't my trash cat at the right place.
Right.
So I draw the illustration. You got to, these people, when they deporting these people, send them the right place. Either send them direct back to Haiti. You can't drop them off here and say, well, because they say the Bahamas. We don't have no status of them. We don't have nothing of them, stuff like that.
Right.
And my last point is, if I were to be a leader, to run for leader in this country,
Yes.
and I want a group of man or woman, my application, when you look at that, I'll make sure I tell you, on my application would it be, you're married, you have any sweetheart, you you laughing?
Caller, why you say, you mean to tell me only married
listen,
people?
listen.
Hold on. I gotta get
discriminatory.
but I know the Constitution is discriminatory. No, go ahead. Continue then. Continue.
When I
We'll
finish,
talk.
then you and Brother
Yeah.
Lightboy could handle
For the
that.
Cartwright, yeah, okay. All right.
Cartwright.
Yeah.
You're married? You have any sweetheart?
His
have
name is
any
no keep no
outside
sweetheart.
children?
You should know better
And
than
you
that.
better. If we can't find you lying and you sign that paper, then if you get elected, brother, you stepping down. Because there will be integrity in the House of Assembly we get in. You'll have to have the experience, integrity, independence, and good judgment.
Okay.
You ain't see that in no kind of party now today.
Okay.
And that my party will be so strong. You always quoting, when the righteous in authority, the people rejoice.
That is true, yeah.
When the wicked in authority, the people mourn.
Yes.
Righteous mean right doing.
That's correct.
We will be my party, my man or woman, they will be right in that party. No foolishness. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Boy, he said a lot. Well, Brother Cartwright, let me let you comment on that because I got quite a bit I want to say too.
I mean, brought up at some serious points, but you have to be careful because now you know that Constitution we have is not a discriminatory.
No, the Constitution never discriminates
So
against
you gotta be-
anybody.
you can't. So if you telling people, well, look here, all you have to do is just say, my brother, if you got a sweetheart, no need to apply. You can find ways around it, but you got to be careful.
But he say if you are not married, you
Not-
can't be a member of the government. Is that constitutionally
No, it
sound?
isn't. No,
Okay,
no.
all right then.
So
That's discrimination.
Yes, I would say also that he talk about with the young men.
Yes.
One of our biggest problems that we face as a nation over the last 50 plus years is that when someone think outside of the box with an idea that can help youth development,
Yes.
it is meet with a massive objection. For instance, we remember back in the day, Sir Lyndon had proposed a national youth service.
Yes, he did.
It was then reported allegedly by the leader of the opposition at the time that it was to create a private army.
But they call it the Lyndon's Army.
Yes, and which basically put fear in the
people.
citizens.
Yes, it did.
And so everyone backed away from it.
Yes.
But if you look at the system, it would have been good.
Yes, it would have been good.
I think we got a caller there.
Yeah, we do have a caller.
Yes,
But see,
I'll let him go.
when you have misinformation, it can lead the nation to make bad decisions. Okay, caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Professor, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
doing
guy,
well.
what's up?
Hi, how are you?
Cartwright, Thor.
Yes, right here, my brother.
Everything blessed?
Yeah, man.
All right. I want to lead off with this. How much we believe in our flag?
Well,
that one flag we got. How much we believe in that? Do we wear it across our chest? And you see people when they win sports, they pull out their flag because they proud of where they come from.
Yeah.
Let me flip a script on you. Do you know we reward badness in this country straight across the board?
Yeah.
We reward everything that is like we trying to make bad good. You understand? Even if you look at corruption in the police station, the commissioner trying to come, that should be the one thing where you go, anybody create anything, for the people to believe in what that institution is. If somebody could do something on that side, you go, you lock them up. Ain't no secrecy around there because then people can look at you like a gang.
Yeah.
You understand? Like you protecting your own. You unleash your full power and force on my child. But when it comes to one of your own, we could see you protecting that. Because there's nothing coming out about situation what's going on with the voice notes and, voice identity and things like that. You don't hear that no more.
No.
Then the politicians would behave badly. One was in court. And this man still have the gall to say he came back in Abaco to go run. I don't care if he get vindicated or not. How come you was in that situation? And then you all want to tell me, the younger man, to call these people honorable. Do you understand? Now let's talk about the Haitian situation.
Okay.
Make me understand, Mr. Cartwright, code name Thor. Make me understand this. How come a Haitian could come here on a boat, go into the bush, and create a whole, I'm talking about a whole village. The police, them drive by, politicians, them living close to these people. They see what's going on, but nothing happened. Then they have children. Because I know somewhere in the scripture, if I'm wrong, Professor, the Bible say the sins of your parents should fall on who?
The sins of the church. The sins of the
church,
fathers should fall
So
on the
here's
church.
where I apply the Bible into that. So you have you decide to have children, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have children now when it comes to our law. I'm asking Cartwright, where does it say in the Constitution? And I'm talking about, they say two parents that is not a behemoth can have kids and then they can apply, because I think they speak into a different type of people, right? But let's just say these two. Remember how I say they get into the country?
Yeah.
Would qualify them. Remember again how I say they get into the country. Because I feel if you break into this country, your kids have no path to citizenship. And here's where I stand. If I deport the parents, the kids have to go with that. You can't call me xenophobe. You call me whatever you want to. I can quote what we believe in, and then I can quote law. And let me quote what the Bible says. The sins of your parents should fall on who? Your kids. This country, do not owe lawbreakers anything. We don't owe lawbreakers anything. And it's a reason why the forefathers say you have to drop whatever you're doing, whatever you believe in, whatever your culture was, and adapt to mine. You understand?
Yeah.
You in Haiti and you lift up a red and blue flag with whatever in the middle of that, and you celebrate that. And now you trying to bring that over here and create a day just like how we have a day of our independence. You bring in a day over here where you rallying up every last one of them would call themselves demons. Let's just see how true they was to when they lied to get their papers or whatever. Because those that call themselves demons, when Haitian flag, they go on and rally around that. So they identify exactly who they are. So what's the problem if we go in? I don't want to hear nothing from the kids then. That's all on the parents. How did your parents get into the country? I don't want nobody flag no paper dust because we all know that's corrupt. And Cartwright, here's another thing too. Why can't we investigate our immigration people? Y'all have who the guy is? I'm familiar with their name, but you have a senator there who y'all call Brilliant, right? What his name is? The one who there right now.
You talking about
Alfred Sayers?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a minister.
Yeah, the minister.
An MP for Fort Charlotte.
Yes.
Do you think his brilliance being shown to me for 51 years, or just people calling him brilliant? Because I don't see nothing across the board that says this man got no brilliancy for 51 years. And don't forget, Keith Bell think we can forget what he did. Look how this man gave up the citizenship. And to back what he did, he lied so much till they had to move him. These people is liars. You stand in the front of wherever you were, and you give out our citizenship
hold on,
based on the fact that this man is your friend.
Put him on hold. See, we allow people to express their views, but I think the caller went off the rocker. I apologize for that, Bahamians. You cannot call people liars. As much as I disagree with the Attorney General, as much as I disagree with people who violate the Constitution, Bahamians, we cannot call people liars. Don't do it, please. That could cause a lot of problems for me. It can cause a lot of problems for the station. So sometimes some people get carried away and they say things, and we want to allow for freedom of expression, but Bahamians, there are boundaries. I'm going to have to cut the caller. Producer, please cut the caller. The thing is, we have boundaries to work in, and we have to be very careful. You see, I can't allow certain things to happen which could endanger my reputation, and the reputation is the radio station. It must not be allowed. So Bahamians, please, when you call the radio station, you cannot call any person a liar. Please do not do that. That is very damaging. That's very dangerous. And you could be sued for it. So Bahamians, I apologize for the mistake. I'll call it a mistake by the particular caller. He's a frequent caller, and he has the right to express his views. But he went over the line today. And see, this is a problem that people get into. I being the host of the show, I apologize to Bahamian people for that remark that was made. While you can disagree with someone, you may say it's not constitutionally sound. See, there's so many other ways you can put it, okay? But you cannot call the man a liar. That's not good. We must not do that. Go ahead, Brother Cartwright.
Yes, I understand the frustration from the caller, and I've always learned that words, you have to be careful.
Very careful.
With your words, because one of the serious things that we have is that members of parliament have certain protection, and we, the citizens, don't have that same right as them. Because I could hear the frustration in his voice, because a parliamentarian will get up and call you the same word in parliament, but he has that protection. But outside of parliament, he would not dare call you that. Because,
no, he wouldn't.
Because he know he'd be challenged, and so vice versa. Yeah. But I would say this. Minister Bell and the truth, it's like oil and water. I would put it just like that.
Okay.
Oil and water.
Oil and water.
And the thing is this. Mr. says we all know him to be a man who knows this Constitution. But the problem I see with all of them is that they're afraid to follow their constitutional right.
Yes.
Which means that the minister, because he is in charge of that portfolio, he could recommend to his colleagues in the cabinet and say, listen, man, for the last 50 plus years, immigration, this is what we've been seeing, what we've seen over the years in our relationship with this is happening.
Yes.
We need to change a different course. And one of those courses that we might have to take is do a proper assessment of immigration, whether we do a small investigation or a thorough,
Yes.
and then bring some corrections and changes. The problem also happens with many of our members of the cabinet because of probably whether it's financial dispensation or the prestige of office. They tend not to basically challenge or give good criticisms to their colleagues and members of parliament.
Yes.
And they feel that if they bring these critiques, is that they are basically attacking. And sometimes
Attacking, yes.
you're not attacking if you point out
an error.
the injustice or an error.
Oh, that is correct. Yeah, I agree.
I think we need our parliamentarians now to understand that, listen, there's nothing wrong with you pointing out to your colleagues the injustice, the wrongs, the errors that not only you see, but the public at large see, because he also mentioned whereby that the police commissioner did not bring up no clarity to what the outside police force said to him pertaining to this voice note that was basically alleged by one of his junior officers.
That's right.
And it's like he tiptoeing around it. And I think the commissioner of the police and anyone who sits in position of authority, your obligation is not to your fellow comrade.
That's true.
Your obligation is to those who you serve. You serve the Bahamian people at large. You preserve law and order.
Yes.
So if one of your colleagues allegedly break that code, your job is not to look the easy way out for him. Follow the law.
You must face the music.
And then you let him know, as much as I respect you, I like you, but the law is the law.
The law is the law. That's
and
right.
that's how you have to operate. And I think what we have now is that many of our personnel that we put in charge of these institutions cannot separate their friendship and their duties.
Their duties.
And I
That
think
is true.
and we have to now move away from that friendship. And I always learned that when I used to work in Metelco, my late boss used to say to us, be cool after 5.
After 5, yeah.
Between the hours of 8:45 and 5,
yes,
I am the boss, you the worker.
That's right.
That's it. Once we knock off, be friends.
Right.
And I think where many of our personnel in these positions do not distinguish is that they carry their friendship into the job.
Yes.
And it's just like we see with our parliamentarians, where they take their political affiliation into the parliament.
Oh, yes, they have.
And so you don't never get to see a clear duty which they are obligated to give the Bahamian people.
Exactly.
And this is why we've been having all of this back and forth banter. Now, in the situation with the illegal coming into the Bahamas and having a child, the law speaks to those things in the Constitution.
Yes, it does. It certainly does.
There is no other caveat. It says to you straight up, if both of your parents are non-Bahamians, they tell you what is the criteria you need to do.
Exactly.
If one is, they tell you the criteria. And then they say if both, they tell you the criteria.
That's
so
right.
it isn't nothing that anyone can say, well, I don't know.
That's right.
Because it is clear. And so if the minister speaks to the director of immigration and says, this is what the law or the Constitution of the Bahamas requires, and if the director says to the minister, I cannot approve this, and the minister goes behind that director and approve it, then the minister is in violation of the law.
That is correct.
And if the minister tends to use his power or abuse his power to punish a director of immigration, then charges should be brought up against him, because he is not only breaking the Constitution, but he's also violating the union contracts and the civil duty.
Yes.
Because the Constitution allows you to be employed.
That's correct.
And it allows you not to be obstructed in your duties. So once you do, and see, these are the things that Bahamians tend to look at very lazily. And they don't take it seriously.
They don't take it seriously.
And when you see if the director of any government agency makes an assertion against the minister, the first thing you have to look at, is it a policy? Is it constitutional?
Yes.
Once you realize that it's not constitutional, then that policy has to fall away.
It has to fall away. That's
And
correct.
this is where we have to now move to take our country. But
Yes.
after the break, Professor, I think I want to run through some of these Facebook comments.
Yes, okay.
So we can let them know we hear them.
All right. And again, I apologize to the Bahamian people for that particular remark that was made. Bahamians, I'm trying my best to be as reasonable as I possibly can. I hope my apology will be accepted, but we work very hard to run a show that is according to law. We have certain restraints. We have to work in those restraints. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island, a November to remember sale, starting at $150 per night plus taxes and fees. For single or double occupancy, receive a fourth night free with 3 paid nights. Limited inventory available and blackout dates apply. Advance booking is required. We're offering free food and beverage credit up to $50 based on your length of stay. Redeemable at our Crusoe's restaurant and Splash Pool bar. VAT and gratuity is not included. All guests of Comfort Suites enjoy complimentary use of Atlantis, including Aquaventure Water Park, daily complimentary full American buffet breakfast, free Wi-Fi, free parking, kids 11 and under stay free in the room with a parent and eat free at Crusoe's restaurant with each paying adult. Call us today at 605-6300 or 363-3680 or WhatsApp us at 55-SUITE. That's 557-8483. Offer valid through November 18th, 2024. Comfort Suites Paradise Island, offering comforting days and sweet nights.
At Audio Plus, we carry a large selection of DJ and audio products like speakers, mixers, microphones, car audio players, and much more. You can also find a wide selection of musical instruments like marching drums, Junkanoo drums in a wide variety of colors, trumpets, clarinets, trombones, Yamaha keyboards, and Fender guitars at special low prices. Visit Audio Plus on Soldier Road, located in the K-Rees Plaza. Open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Phone number 394-6668. Audio Plus, your #1 music store.
Great news. Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
If your Black Friday looks like any other day, you're shopping in the wrong place. It's that time of the year, our annual 3 days of total blackout at Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center. Mark your calendars for November 28th, 29th, and 30th. Join us for the biggest, craziest Black Friday weekend sale you've ever seen. Get ready to snag thousands of items straight from Amazon, Home Depot, and Walmart, all sold at their original online prices. Don't believe us? Bring your cell phone and Google it. If Amazon's list price is $20, you pay $20. That's right, freight and duty included. Where? We'll be waiting for you on Mackey Street under the big red and white tent. Come for the deals, stay for the experience. Save like never before. Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center's 3 days of total blackout. Call us now at 6980123 or WhatsApp 5572522. See you there on November 28th, 29th, and 30th. Don't forget.
Steve Harvey here from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Everybody knows that I love to chill out with great music. There's only one place you can get this. Tonight at 7 p.m.
As soon as you clock off from work, make sure you lock right into me. I'm Lenny Green from The Quiet Storm, inviting you to come on over. I've got all of that R&B ear candy that you love. Plus, we'll engage in conversations inside of Confessions of Love and so much more. And you never know who's going to drop by. It's The Quiet Storm, all three on the way tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on Global 99.5. I'm Lenny Green from The Quiet Storm.
From East Street to Blue Hill Road, it's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Yeah, let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Yeah. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. And Bahamians, I do apologize for the remark that was made by one of the callers today, which is not good. And Bahamians, please cooperate with the host of the show because there are things that I have to be concerned about. I have rules and regulations to go by, and I have to do that. I like being here, I won't get away from this. So Bahamians, you got to learn to cooperate. There are things, and I know some people say things out of ignorance or lack of understanding, but that's no excuse. Violation of law is violation of law. And we cannot allow that to happen. So Bahamians, you got to be very careful. You may be all pumped up and you may feel this, you may feel that. But then the law is what stands, whether it's constitutional law or even statute law. So we have to understand these things. There's certain things you cannot say on the air. It is not sound, Bahamians. Please cooperate and let's go. Brother Cartwright, go ahead.
Yes, Professor, let me go through some of these Facebook articles.
Okay.
Police, people getting put out of their homes on the streets every day.
Okay.
With only 3 days max notice with something called a provost marshal notice not going through any court. Some Bahamians got caught up in the middle of shanty homes got demolished, also making Bahamians displaced. People in Elizabeth Estates out of their homes also. Landlords having issues with people. Bahamian is a Christmas nation. Caller, they have our passport. Your government gone in the church to give them that. Brave said he haven't seen no wrong. His colleagues didn't. Okay, again. Call again, you always on point. Good afternoon. In all fairness to the caller, his exact words were that these people are liars. That he didn't make no reference to know who he was referring to.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I heard it very clearly.
And what is the reason for a disclaimer anyway?
Let me just say this in fairness to all those listeners who are listening. I heard exactly what the caller said. And we have to exercise caution and restraint. That is why we have so much lawlessness in this country. Because people believe they could just spew out any and everything because they may disagree with a particular personality or a group of individuals. You cannot smear their character. And we who are talk show hosts, we have to understand that. We understand that well when I took this job. And we cannot allow people's character to be besmirched. That must not happen. Now, I know some hosts decided to ban certain people from calling their show. Now, I don't want to go there, Bahamians. The Constitution allows for freedom of expression. I believe in that. But we cannot take a bunch of crap that people are going to bring to the radio station and cause problems for myself as the host and problems for some other people. Okay? So let's be reasonable Bahamians. We got freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, all these freedoms. You know how many countries around the world are struggling to get one, what our Constitution says. Just one, and they don't have that. And we are basking in it, and we are abusing it. Not everybody now. Not all callers behave like that. You got one or two like that, so. But the overwhelming majority of callers have been nice and reasonable. But the point is, the host of the show has a responsibility, and he's got to take it seriously. And I certainly will. I'm going to take a hard line, very hard line. Because some of you may have to be cut. When I feel very strongly you're heading in the wrong direction, I'll just have to cut you. Now, if you don't like that, tough luck. I can't do nothing about that. But we allow people to express themselves, and yet there are those who get all excited. They just make. So I think, I assume it's an error, and I accept that. But the point is that we cannot allow that kind of thing to happen. So let me just let that rest right there. I don't want to go any further with that. Brother Cartwright, go ahead.
Yes, and so, like you said, I think a lot of us don't understand that with the radio, talk shows, stuff, yes, you might have disclaimers, but there are guidelines in that disclaimer.
Yes.
Because in this country, once you make a mistake, it isn't that something easy that you're going to get away with. Where people say, oh, no, I didn't mean it. Out of spite, people will say, you know what, just to make an example. And I will try to tell people that if you watch when you attack someone's character, you might feel that you saying it out of anger, whatever, but you got to understand that person got a chance to respond.
Of course.
And a lot of times when you go and they take you to court and they lodge a complaint against you in the court, if you cannot refute that claim, you will be held liable. And it will cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. So to avoid that, you try your very best to stay in the frame. Like I was saying to you earlier, Professor, that I understand what you said. I understand you might be frustrated, but I would always say I very choosy words.
Yeah, you have to.
I would say, instead of me using that word, I say, well, the personality has a strange relationship with the truth. You got to be very careful with your words, because when you put it like that, they might like it, but they might laugh, they might be upset, but they say, you know what, I can't go, because the first thing they say, what it is?
What did he say?
So all of these things, callers, you have to be careful, because I want you to believe that these personalities do be listening.
Oh, yes, they do.
These stations.
Particularly Express yourself.
And so for them, if they find a way that they could get a couple dollars out of people, they will. And so you find that the hosts or the co-hosts, we have to be very cautious, and also we have to protect the image of the station. So we don't have a problem with you calling in and bringing your complaints, but your wording got to be toned down a bit.
Yes,
I understand the passion, young man. I understand your passion, because it's nothing more frustrating to see that those who are elected have been derelict in their duties to the nation that basically gives them the power to govern. And it's very frustrating. See, and I try to explain to people over and over, and I said this to someone about 2 days ago, I said, the younger Bahamians, younger than myself, I basically was frustrated coming up.
Yes.
I said, now they're more frustrated because they're now seeing the problem exacerbate more, because the first thing they said, listen, this problem isn't just getting on when you were young, man. This problem is going on before you. And so he said, this is how we feel now. You had the opportunity to correct it. You urge us to stay calm and work on this problem. And they're now saying, hey, we are tired. We want these problems solved. And I think the parliamentarians don't seem to understand that the pressure they put on the ordinary citizens
Yes.
to balance the act and say to them in a nice way, solve the problem, because this generation coming up here is not as patient. They're frustrated. You've ostracized them. You talk down to them.
Yes.
You make them feel that they're nothing. And the sad part of it, majority of the people who they talking down to are our young men.
That's correct.
You know, I always say to people, you know, we do not have no programs in place for our young men.
Okay, now, Brother Cartwright, I gonna let my producer, Mr. Producer, if you have that tape ready, we can
Yes,
play it now.
limitless, yes.
Yes.
On Beatrice Avenue North, also. And so my message again, family members, godparents, close friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, it's time for us now to stop being hot-headed. Stop being hot-headed. Recognize that you're going to argue with somebody. It will happen. You're not going to see eye to eye. But I want you to speak with them or find someone. Find an agency. We have the community counseling and assessment unit who are willing and able to train persons and how to resolving their conflicts. We also have the crisis center. We also have social services. You have your pastors. There are many other persons who can assist. People just need to reach out now. And males especially, you need to put your egos aside. Put your macho-ness aside. Because once you fail to exhibit patience, we're going to see this continuing to happen. I don't want to see another young man killed. We've lost enough already. It's time for us to work together as a community, as family members, identifying and recognizing who the persons are who cannot resolve their conflicts and finding people who are able to assist them.
Yes, Chief Inspector Skipping said quite a lot in that. But Cartwright, I'll let you comment on what you said.
I understand and I feel for the police liaison, Inspector Skippings. But as an elderly person now, when I was young, we found that there were many, as she claimed, many outlets. But one of the major things that I've always noticed that my father used to say, idle minds, idle hands do idle things. And meaning is this: if we never implement programs in place where you can train people how to harness some of that anger, you will always have an avenue whereby, an outlet where it's going to fester. Meaning such as fella will come and sit down with his friends and say, man, you know, so-and-so do me this. People might say, man, let it go. And you might let it go today. You might let it go for a couple of days, months. But the problem was never solved because he still has that little bit of anger still in him. And so if he doesn't have an outlet or something to can take his mind off of it, you know, people say, well, what do you mean? Well, if you look at what we call our urban renewal program, if you look at the urban renewal program, most of it is catered towards the women. There's nothing wrong with us having our young women them learn skills and everything else. But if you look in those communities have a lot of young men who are idle. Some of them, yes, we know, might have been to prison. And so to get some form of a menial job, that is a strike against them. And so I was like, why can't we look at programs and provide in the community where that they can now feel a part of this community that they live in? They're just not living in it. It's not like a prison where you get up, you go out, you come back home, you sleep, you eat. But you are actually participating in preserving. You are part of doing something positive. So with programs such as, like I was telling, I think I mentioned with my pastor one time, that we have all of these public schools and other institutions in these urban renewal set areas. Why not look at a way that we can now have those young men, whether they do protection as security or doing the minor repairs around the schools. Give them something that will keep their mind occupied. Or, you have, like I see they were talking about in this new bill, the Urban Renewable Authority, that once it come in line, they're going to be looking whereby that people have their homes repaired. Give them something where they can earn something to make them feel where they don't have to worry about that just idleness and idle talk. So
Yes.
if he's out there to work or he has something to do in the community between hours of 9 to 5 or 7 to 5, he wouldn't have too much of idleness around for him to distract him or to get himself into problems.
Yes.
It's because he has something that is positive, and these are the things we have to look at. And we have to now expand, because I knew under the previous administration they had a act that they implemented calling the First Step Act, similar to what the U.S. called First Step, but it was like first-time offenders. And I said, maybe we need to look at that act and see how you can expand it to those who've been to prison more than once, and say, you know what? Here's how we're going to encourage you, give you an opportunity to have your record expunged. If you went to prison for robbery or whatever, and you come out, we will now put you on a 5-year, 3 to 5 years probation. If you do some other crime, we can put you on a 6 months to 1 year probation. So it gives you that motivation to say, you know what? I want to now be back in society. I want to be able to go not only to travel, but to work. And now I have an opportunity because I have something I can work for. So if you now stay out of trouble over the next 3 years and your record's clear, you can now take that and say, listen, I need a record. Are you trying to get a job? Okay, what's your name? Oh, yeah, man, you're okay. Okay, yes, let me see your name here. Do you know now you got 1 more month before it's come official and your record is cleared up, right? Could you wait, or could you find something to do? We will make a recommendation, say, listen, and that will help you go into, help you do better things and empower yourself.
Yes.
So it's other ways we can do things, because I always tell people that a community is a village. We used to have that togetherness back then.
Yes.
What has happened, and this is why I always say to people that when you have people of different cultures living in a small community, there will be contentious moments, because the person who comes into the community who was not familiar with that culture,
yes,
he is going to feel a way left out, and he wants to impose his will. And then you're going to have those who grew up in this culture say, no, man, you ain't coming in and change this.
yes,
And so you have to now have a balance, and you have to now think, thereby that I always say to persons that the police needs to sit down. Instead of being an urban renewal, go around the community. If you ride through, you see the young men them sitting down, pull over and say, hey guys, what's happening, man? What's going on today, man? What y'all feel we need to do? Dialogue, get an input, get their mind, see what their mindset is. See, when you just pull up on them, hey, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
You're already
confrontational. Yeah, that's correct.
But if you
yeah.
go to them in a manner, because I used to have a friend of mine, the late Paul Thompson Jr. And back in the day, when I used to do my little smoking weed, and he'd pull up. And as soon as you see him, you throw away your stuff, because
exactly.
why? You respected him.
Respected
it's his
him,
job.
Yes.
And he would say to you now, when he comes off and he's off and he's laughing, he say, boy, I could have locked you all up and you laugh. He said, man, I'm only joking, but have that respect.
Have that respect, yeah.
And said, the same respect you give me, I will return the respect. And this is how, because we knew we had many officers of senior ranks who never really talked to no one, but because they had this good rapport with the public, it was good. Another thing I would like to find out too, Professor, is that
okay, go ahead.
With this Urban Renewal Authority bill that the government is going to be proposing, I would like for them to define how many areas in this country is urban.
That's a good question.
Because
excellent question.
If the whole country is urban, then we got a serious work to do. I don't think the people in Life Keep want to call them urban. I don't think the people in Palm Keep want to call them urban. So
even Blair?
Yeah. So you have to identify these
What is
areas,
urban
and then
areas,
you design a program for those areas. And with that program, you should also identify that these programs, and again, which I always say to people, that when you're looking at our Constitution, are geared and designed for Bahamians and Bahamians only.
That's correct.
Not Bahamians and others. Bahamians only. Because you're going to run into problems and then you're going to have to make the matter worse. So
Yes, it is.
I would advise the parliamentarians, when they do further enact this bill, whenever they get around to making it law, define which areas of the country is urban and make sure that it's only catered to organic on Bahamians only, because you cannot implement a policy or law if it's unconstitutional, because the Constitution is geared for Bahamians.
Yes, it is.
It wasn't geared for nobody else.
That's
and
correct.
So I would hope that with all of these things they're talking about or want to implement, they have Bahamians. And if you ain't sure, go into your constituency and sit down, talk to your people.
Now that's what they don't do.
Go talk to this.
You know, in Fort Lancaster, police don't even communicate with the people in Fort Lancaster. I see them running around all the time. They'll pass you straight like they don't even know you.
You ain't policing.
But the point is, they only go and say they're looking after the tourists. But I don't have a problem with that. But the young people in the area don't interfere with the tourists. The point is, they do. When Brother Dean was there, he became a senior assistant commissioner of police. Brother Dean came to us. Anytime when the police was doing anything in that community, he always said, I got to go see Professor Thompson. He would always keep me up to date on what the police is doing in that community. If he wanted to knock down a building, he would come to my house and let me know about it before it even happened. But today, I mean, these fellas just doing any old kind of crap.
I think what has happened is that many personalities do not have people skills.
No, they don't.
And one of the things that I've always noticed that with some of the senior police officers who have now retired,
yes,
they had great people skills.
Yes, they did.
They knew how to dialogue with the communities, and they would always get the community involved. Hey, you know, that house over there, you know, that done run down, and
yes,
it could be a problem for the community. We want y'all to make sure that place, the property clean up, whatever. If it doesn't done, we gonna have to knock it down. So you had a dialogue.
Yes.
And where we now see, even with our parliamentarians and our politicians, many of them for some reason seem to be afraid to go and speak with their people.
That is true. Oh, that's happening. That's happening. See, when Brother Dean was there, Brother Dean had the community of Centerville clicking. His officers followed his example. But when he was transferred and he went up the ranks in the police force, all of that went out the window. Now we don't even know the fellow who at East Street. We don't know the heck who he is. He came by my house once, but there's no relationship with the people in the community. The police station, Central Police Station, has no working relationship with the people of Fort Lancaster. None. But they call this policing. And we have some issues in there that need to be attended to. And the representatives need to understand that. But the point is, they just look out for tourists. But they're not making any kind of contact with the people who live there, who have a stake there. Tourists come and tourists go. When the tourists then disappear, they disappear too. And so you're left on your own. So when you call for any kind of assistance, you don't get that from the police. It's not there. And I'm sure other communities are feeling the same thing. So all of these things we need to work on. I think there has to be discussion, there has to be cooperation, there has to be dialogue. And when they pass in all these bills, man, you just hear when they pass it and you don't know nothing about it. Nobody comes and consults with you. No meetings are called. Things are happening in that community we do not know because no one has ever met with the residents of that community to say, this is what we're going to be doing there. Or even give out flyers or pamphlets and let us know that this is what's happening. But Cartwright, make your point quick because I
Well,
get off the air.
what I would like to say is that I hope in this very near future that, as you say with these bills and stuff,
Yes.
that the Parliament would then take at least 2 to 3 weeks before they finalize that bill into the act, where they can go into their various constituencies and dialogue with
the people
and get an input so they can
They
make
need input.
corrections, whatever.
Yes.
That's all I like to say right now.
Okay, good. All right, I got to stop right now. The producer tell me I need to shut up. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. Of course, tomorrow is Open Line Friday, eh? Open Line Friday, we're going to have Mr. Hanschel here as well, along with 2 others and perhaps 1 or 2 more. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson. The Haymans, please be safe and let's stay alive as we move forward. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant afternoon.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.